Here comes the boom, here comes the boom, here comes the boom, here comes the boom, here comes the boom.
Hopefully you guys can see me. Well, today is, I think it's the 28th, I'm not sure. I have about 48 minutes of recording time, so I hope that I don't blabber, because I want to get this out. So I want to know you guys' opinion on something, right? Yeah, I know there's 3 sides to every story. My side, the other person's side, and then the truth. So I'm not making this video to bash, but I definitely want to make sure that I express myself completely. I'm gonna try not to be salty or be over opinionated. I'm just gonna try to tell y'all like the situation with this person, right? So I'm gonna call this person Alpha. I'm gonna call him Alpha, right? As an alpha male, I'm gonna call him Alpha. Now, this Alpha is somebody who watches my videos, right? Me and this person was trying to pursue me, and eventually I gave this person a chance, right? So, in my head, when me and this person first started talking, my first initial thought was, this is somebody who saw my videos and saw how I am, or has heard my story times when it comes to how I have my experiences with other men, my side of the story, and he sees that I'm genuine, or he sees that I'm passionate, or he sees that, you know, I'm tough, and that is what attracted him to me, besides my physical appearance, right? That is my initial thought. So I initially proceeded with this person like just being me, like outright open. And I'm telling y'all this for a reason. Outright open or whatever, because I'm thinking in my head, okay, this person knows more about me than I know about them because they've watched my videos. Now, for some people, they may feel that they watch a video and that person is putting on a show, or that person's not being real, or whatever. I'm not sure. And that could be true to an extent, but when I tell a story, I try to tell it as much in detail as possible. When I tell y'all my experience, if I am going to tell y'all, I try to tell y'all as much in detail as possible, right? So that way, if I ever do meet a subscriber, or if I ever, in this case, meet somebody who has an interest in me or whatever, they could kind of gauge that I'm an honest person, or the person that they see in the video is the person that I am, right? So that was my initial thought going in. So I was comfortable with this person. Although I didn't know them like that, I was comfortable with this person because I felt as though they had a certain understanding of me. And that would allow me to be a little bit more open with this person. Now, when I first met this person, I felt as though, of course I felt hesitant and I felt sketchy because I felt like this person was selling me a dream. It just seemed a little too good to be true. Oh, I'll take care of you. I want to be a man. This is the type of man I am. Blah, blah, blah. So this person is kicking all that shit. And, you know, of course, my ears open, but I got my, you know, my reserved thoughts. So I'm like, okay, you know, I'm trying to proceed with caution. This person is this person is assertive, right? However, what he wants is what he wants, how he feels is how he feels, right? So that was a bit much for me because I just met the person. So it was kind of like, I don't know if they were paying attention to how or cared about how I feel because I just met them. So it's not even like the person was giving me time to adjust or learn them or, you know, anything. It was just like, this is what I want. This is the direction I want to go. And it feels like, you know, he was grabbing my hand and he was just like bringing me along. But all the while not realizing that I need time to understand him. You understand what I'm saying? I need time to learn him. I need time to learn his behavior. So he's doing all of that, but I'm still being observant. So I had noticed that this person, you could not criticize this person, or this person was not very receptive to advice, right? And I'm saying that because me and this person was like out and about in the street or whatever. I need to stop saying this person. I said I was gonna call him Alpha. Me and Alpha was out and about in the street, right? And I just noticed that he was kind of hostile, like a hostile person. And not necessarily in a bad way, but he was like always prepared for a fight, always prepared for drama, always prepared for trouble. And it kind of made me feel like, you know, if you go looking for something, you're gonna find it. So I would observe that. I observed his demeanor. You know what I'm saying? And even when I tried to say something, it kind of like he kind of a little bit chewed my head off. So I kind of like just left it alone. But he was very like, I'm here, I run this shit, ain't nobody fucking with me type of dude. And that's an attractive trait to have. Well, for me, that's an attractive trait when I'm looking at a man. He is not no punk ass nigga or nothing like that. But also, it's alarming because you feel like you're going to run into somebody who has that same type of attitude, and then it's going to be some shit that it doesn't need to be. When in all actuality, if you just humble yourself and just relax a little bit, you won't get into no trouble. You won't need to, you know what I'm saying? I can understand, you know, looking at your surroundings or whatever and making sure shit ain't about to hit you from left field, but this person's demeanor was always kind of like, I'm ready for war type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So I noticed that about him, and that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But then, I mentally just accepted it because just like me, this person has lived life. You know what I'm saying? They've been through some shit. So that turns you into a different type of person. All right? So that was the first thing that I kind of was like, okay, I need to adjust to that, but okay, you know what I'm saying? So then I noticed that this person would be able to, how can I say? This person was kind of temperamental. Like, he could ask you something, and you need to answer, and you need to reassure him, and you need to, you know, stroke his ego or whatever. Okay, you know how these men are. That's what it is. But when you ask him something, or when you express a concern or something like that, it's an issue. So prime example, right? This story is going to be all over the place because I need to give y'all examples, and these things didn't happen all at once. It just happened one way or another way or something like that. But I just want y'all to know. So y'all know, if you've seen my previous video, you know that I'm going through some shit right now, right? So my mood is a little off. I'm trying not to be around people because I feel extremely emotional. So people may say something to me, and I may overreact, or I may take it a little too personal. And it's not even that person is necessarily saying or doing anything wrong. It's just that I'm in my feelings right now. So with all that being said, right, there was a situation where, I'll explain the whole situation first, right? So me and this person had stopped talking. I'm going to tell y'all why we stopped talking, but before I can do that. So me and this person had stopped talking, right? We got into it, we stopped talking. And I felt as though we stopped talking for a petty ass reason. So when we stopped talking, I blocked him on everything, because I just felt like I'm going through too much right now. I cannot deal with babysitting somebody else's emotions. I need babysitting right now. I need a soft touch. I need a shoulder to cry on. So me and this person is having friction, but he's not understanding that I'm going through something, and I need him to be there for me in a more gentle way. And he's so fucking rough. So anyway, we stopped talking, and I blocked him or whatever. So, you know, I was watching something on YouTube, and it was just something about love and relationships or whatever. And I just came to the realization that I need to stop shutting people out, like cutting people off from me when I have an issue with them, especially if it's somebody that I care about or I have an interest in, right? So I tell myself, I text him, I said, we need to talk, please, right? So we talk. There was a little friction there. We talked, and I didn't feel that the issue was resolved, but I saw that he was willing to, you know, still deal with me in that way. And I just felt as though that we would resolve the issue eventually. So this person, he's like, oh, do you want to start over? I was like, yeah, we can start over. So this person comes over. So mind you, I still feel away because when we talked on the phone, I did not feel like the issue was resolved. And like I said, I'm going through whatever I'm going through. So this person comes over, and like I said, they're very assertive. They want to kiss. They want to hug you. They need all of that. And I'm not even able to really get there. You know what I'm saying? It's not like this person came in, sat down, and was just like, yo, let's really, really hash out our issues. That's not what they did. So the person comes in and they do all of that, right? So I had my showcase. This person had said that they were going to buy a ticket to my showcase. They did not buy a ticket. They claimed that they were going to buy a ticket, but the deadline for when I needed them to buy a ticket had already passed. We stopped talking after the deadline, right? So he claims that he was going to buy a ticket, but me and him wasn't talking. I said the deadline was like last week. So me and you not talking, that had nothing to do with it. You've been supposed to buy a ticket. So that's where we had a little friction, right? So I go to tell him that. I specifically say, I was like, I'm under a lot of stress or whatever. I was like, I need your support. I said, you said you was going to buy a ticket to my showcase. You didn't buy it. You didn't ask me how my showcase was, blah, blah, blah. So he was like, oh, I was going to ask you, but I came in late last night or whatever, because he had only been to my house one time. So he was like, oh, I came here late last night. He was tired. We got up in the morning or whatever. But it just didn't seem like he was going to ask me. And mind you, I wasn't being nasty about it. Well, I don't think I was being nasty about it. I was being really calm. I was being calculated, but I was being really calm. So the person is like, well, I was going to ask you, and this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. So I go to say, well, I'm really stressed, and, you know, I'm trying to really get into depth of how I'm feeling currently and how I need him to be there for me, right? Because one thing I have learned is if you want something from a man, you ask for it or you express yourself so they can know, because they're not mind readers. So that's the road that I'm trying to take. I'm trying to be a better woman when I get into a relationship. So mind you, I'm trying. So I'm saying all of this to this man, and what he do? He start barking. He start all that hostile beating on his chest. I'm a man. You're not going to talk to me. And I wasn't even talking to him nasty, to be honest, because y'all know if I'm talking to somebody nasty, or I said something or some crazy shit or whatever, y'all have heard me tell stories. Y'all have heard me tell y'all when I went off on somebody, curse somebody out, whatever. So I'm not even doing that. I'm really trying a different approach with this person. So he barking, he doing all that extra shit. So before I start screaming whatever, so I was like, see, this is the problem. I said, you don't know how to handle me. You don't know how to handle me. You're very rough. I said, I'm just trying to tell you how I feel at this, that, and the third. So we get quiet. It gets crazy awkward. We just get quiet. But in my head, I'm just like, we both need time to breathe, because we having this disconnect, this one disconnect, and we can't seem to get through it, right? I get on the phone with my mother. I called my mother because I felt like I want somebody to talk to or whatever, right? So I get on the phone with my mother. My mother's talking. He gets up. He gets his bag. He's like, yo, I'm out. He leaves, stomps up out of here. So I was a little confused because, yes, we had an argument, but it was just like, in my head, if you said that we're going to start all over and we have this friction or this issue, that which was not a big blowout, it was just like, why are you leaving? So anyway, so he left. So I'm like, so I say his name. I open the door and I say his name. So I called him. Mind you, this is very unlike me. Do not get up there. Do not get up there. This is very unlike me. I won't even consider this stop. No. I won't even consider this chasing no man, but it's very unlike me to make an effort to really make something work with a man that I have no history with. I am extremely quick to pick a nigga up by his collar and put him in the fucking recycling bin. If I don't know you like that, or I don't have history with you, I don't feel the need to put in energy. So for me to even say his name, or for me to call him and really try to talk, oh my God, man, this girl. For me to even say his name and for me to even really try to talk it out, that was a big step for me. And for me to be getting the pushback I was getting, it was kind of like, see, this is why I don't even be trying to make shit work with somebody I just started talking with. So anyway, so I call him and he's like, what did he say? Oh, I need somebody a little softer. I'm a man. I can't deal with that. So, you know, just going off. He's talking about like, fuck out of here. You want somebody to kiss your ass? Y'all. I can't even call it. He's saying all of that. And he was like, I'm gonna block your number. You ain't gotta block me now. I said, you don't have to block my number. And I said that because I'm not gonna be calling you off the hook. Because this is your opportunity to make it work on me. I'm trying to, you storm out of my house. You're doing all this extra shit. So I'm like, oh, is that my doctor? Oh, that's my doctor. I should run down on her ass. Anyway, so I'm just kind of like, let me let him breathe, right? So he does all that. He hangs up. So I block him again. And I say, you know what? I'm going to unblock him because I feel as though he's going to reach out to me. So I unblocked him. I blocked him on everything. I blocked him on YouTube. I blocked his emails. I blocked his phone. I blocked WhatsApp. I blocked him because me and you just had an incident where you blew up like that as well. Well, he didn't blow up in that incident. He didn't blow up in a previous incident. Let me correct myself. I almost blew up. But I almost blew up because he's extremely defensive. And this is not a fight. This is not where you have to defend yourself. I'm not out to get you. If I have a criticism or if I have a feeling towards something, it's me bringing it up because I have a concern for the relationship that we do have, and I need this to be fixed before we proceed because it could be a bigger issue. So I just didn't like his response. So anyway, so he hits me up that night and he tells me, you know, I really like you. I don't think you understand to what extent that I like you. And, you know, what is it that you need me to do for us to make it work and blah, blah, blah. So I tell him, I said, I really need your support. I'm going through a lot. I'm stressed right now. I really need your support. And he was just like, I was just like, I feel like you don't understand that I need to learn you. I need you to have patience. You're asking me to be softer than what I am already being. If I get any more soft, you will be running over me. You will be taking advantage of me, and I'll be being a gullible ass bitch, right? If I get any more soft than I have been with this man, I will be looking like Boo Boo the Fool. And let me explain to you why. So he does that. He says that he still wants to talk. I said, okay, I'm with it. Because for some reason or another, we keep trying to make it. There's something there that's just like, you know, we won't let it go. So anyway, so I'm like, okay, you know, we good. I'm going through whatever I'm going through, but at least I'm trying to handle this situation or whatever. So before we even started talking again, y'all see that I made the video with Fat Daddy, right? The recent one where Fat Daddy had took me out because, like I said, he called me to check up on me and I told him what I was going through. And he was like, yo, I'm going to take you out. He said, I got my cousin with me. We all going to go out. We going to go for drinks or whatever. So Fat Daddy had also gave me money so I can put groceries and food in my house so I can get to where I need to go for the week. This is not somebody who's my man. I'm dealing with somebody who wants to be my man, and he did not make that offer. I told him I lost my wallet. He didn't say, well, here's a couple of dollars to make sure that you got something in the house. Make sure you and your son is good. He didn't do that, right? Now, somebody may say that's not his responsibility. This is that and the third. But if you're claiming that you want me to be your woman, and if you're claiming that you will take care of me, if you're claiming that you will be supportive, mind you, this is things that he has said. And then when shit get a little rough, you throwing temper tantrums about bullshit and you storming out, or we not talking. How is it that you going to, you have not even proven that you can really be there for me, right? So, like I said, I had called my mother. I know this thing is all over the place, but I'm trying to get in as much details, y'all. So, I had called my mother when he was storming out. So, when we spoke the next day, when we spoke the next day, he's like, good morning. This is exactly how he said. He says, good morning. Who was that nigga you was on the phone with? Mind you, me and him is not in a relationship. And I'm going to tell you how I know we wasn't in a relationship. Because it could be confusing sometimes. Nowadays, you don't know how to distinguish if you with somebody or not, right? So anyway, before I tell you how I know we wasn't in a relationship, I'm going to say this. He says, who was that nigga you was on the phone with? So I say, a nigga I was on the phone with? What are you talking about? He said, when I left out, who was that you was on the phone with? I said, I was on the phone with my mother. Mind you, this is not the first time. He questions me a lot, and I don't even think he realizes that he does it, right? If he calls, I have bad service in my bedroom, and most of the time I'm in my bedroom. I don't really sit out in the living room like that, because I don't really watch TV like that. So he'll, if I miss his call, he'll be like, yo, I called you, why you didn't pick up? And he'd be like, oh, what you was doing today? Where you at? Who you with? Or something like that. And he questions me a lot. And I noticed that, but I never ever said to this man, don't question me, I'm not your girl, right? Now, the first time, one of the first times we had a fallout, he went somewhere. He went out of state or some shit like that, right? Now, he had stated to me that he was extremely sick, blah, blah, blah. So every time I would talk to him during that day, he would say, oh, I'm sick, I'm in bed, or I'm resting, this, that, and the third. So I didn't know he was out of state. So I'm talking to him as if he is where he usually is. So when we talking that night, he drops a pin and he shows me where he's at. And I was like, okay, what is this? It says, the Greyhound bus. So he's like, oh, I came out to the such and such. So I was confused because he was just ranting and raving about how sick he is and how I don't know how sick he is. And he was like, you don't understand how sick I am and blah, blah, blah. So he shows me that he's on the ground and he's this. And he said that he went out of town and he went to the club. So I'm like, so I say to him, I said, well, I thought you was really sick. He was like, yeah, but I came out of town. I said, oh, okay. He was like, I said, I just feel like you acting funny. So now he getting defensive. I said, I just feel like you acting funny. Like, so he's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I said, I just feel like you acting funny. Like you being deceptive or something like that. He told me that he does not club. He told me he does not club at all. So for you to tell me that you out of town and you in a club with such and such, and this whole time I'm under the impression that you home in bed with a fucking thermometer in your mouth and you sick as a fucking dog, and then you turn around and tell me that you out of state and you in a club, but this is that and the third, that comes off as deceptive. So his response, instead of him, like I said, a lot of these men, they don't know how to put water on fire. They'll add fuel to the fire. Well, I'm secretive. And he was like, you got options. I said, okay, so why are you saying that? He said, I don't belong to nobody. Oh, okay. I said, okay. Okay, my brother. I said, so now we on the phone and I'm confused about his behavior, because to me, I felt that you was being deceptive. And although me and you are not together, as much as you question me, for you to feel a way that I am asking you a question about something you're telling me that you're doing or you did, it's just like, and I wasn't even questioning him like, yo, who the fuck you was with and what the fuck. I was just on some, I was genuinely confused. You know what I'm saying? So when I got that response, I was just like, okay. I said, but I did ask him, because after he was getting so tough, I was just like, where was all this tough talk when I first met you? I said, where was all this tough talk? I said, you claim that you want to be somebody's man, and you acting real tough right now. I said, where was all this tough talk? Oh, I got options? I know I got options. Oh, you don't belong to nobody? Oh, trust me, you don't belong to me. You do not belong to me. Because if you did, you would have kept it a stack. I need a break. I'm about to go to, you know, wherever. I'm about to hang out with my cousins, blah, blah, blah. You know, whatever. I'll see you when I get back. I'll speak to you when I... That's what you know. But whatever. So that was one of the first incidents. So when I was on the phone with him, and I was just like, okay, well, it got quiet once again. So I was on the phone with him. I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm going to fall back. He said, okay, bang the phone. When I saw that that's how he responded, I said, that was the first time I blocked him and did whatever. So apparently he was texting and whatever. And I didn't get none of it. But when he called that one time, which was on December 17th, I saw that he called, although he was blocked. So that's when I had texted him, we need to talk. And then that's when we established whatever. And even in that conversation, he kind of was just like, he called himself setting me straight. And he was just like, well, he was like, this is why I'm calling him alpha. He was like, I'm an alpha male and you an alpha female, and that just ain't gonna work. We not compatible. I said, okay. He's like, oh, you need to soften up a little bit, blah, blah, blah. So the only reason why I was receptive to what he was saying is because that is not the first time that I've heard that. So like people like to say, there's no smoke without fire. So I am a very level-headed, understanding. Cut it out. You be really acting up every time I record. Get out of here. So I'm saying to myself, I said, okay. So we're talking or whatever. So that's when he was like, mind you, he on the phone, beating on his chest like a fucking gorilla. Not literally, but you know, he's laying the law down. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not trying to be a difficult person. If I like this man and he claims to like me, clearly we're passionate about how much we like each other. One of us does have to soften up. And he said he's not softening up. He's the man and this is that and the third. I said, okay. So from that point on, I've been really, and even before that, I wasn't being overly aggressive. Now I was snapping when I felt like he was being a little too much for me. So I told myself when he said whatever, I said, you know what? Let me try a different approach with him. Just like kids. Some kids respond to ass whooping. Some kids respond to verbal punishment, right? So I said, let me try a different approach with him. Because he's not going to be receptive to me laying the law down. He's not going to be receptive to that. So I said, if this is somebody that I like and I want to make it work with, let me at least try his way, right? So from that point on, we get on the phone. I let him talk about work. I ask him about work. I text him. I call. He calls me. I pick up. If my service is not bad, he asks me a question. Oh, why you didn't pick up? Or I called you and whatever. I'll answer him. I'm not giving this man no friction. But the whole time I'm doing this, I'm not feeling like myself. I'm not feeling like myself because I feel as though his behavior towards me would be okay if he was receptive to how I felt. So it feels as though he's telling me what he needs and I'm trying to fix it or I'm trying to work on it. But as soon as I say what I need or express my feelings, that I'm not getting any reciprocation. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, it's not a two-way street. It just feels like I'm doing whatever to try to make it work and he's still behaving the way he's behaving, right? So I'm noticing that and I'm just like, okay, this is not going to be a good feeling for me. This is going to be somebody who can say whatever, do whatever, talk however, and when you say whatever, do whatever, talk however, it's not okay, right? And that's not what an alpha male is to me. That is not what an alpha male is to me. My thing is, people have this misconception of what an alpha male is. I get that you're tough. I get that you have to lead. And I get that you're supposed to protect, provide, and all this extra stuff. But you are not in the war zone when you're behind closed doors with your woman. It should not be this much friction. You should be able to soften up a little bit and speak to me a certain way. I'm not a man. You want me to be more womanly and be more feminine, but you're talking to me as if I'm somebody in like a child, or I'm a nigga in the street that you about to punch in the face. I don't like that. And if you know that you're dealing with a woman who, amongst other women, is considered an alpha woman, then you also have to change your approach and how you talk to me. Why is it that I only have to change my approach? Number one, me and you don't have a long history like that. Number two, you are not my husband. See, if this was somebody I actually had a long history with, or somebody that was my husband, I would trust you enough that you wouldn't lead me in the wrong direction. I would trust you enough to know that you don't have ill intentions. But how would I know that if I don't really know you? How would I know that? How do I know that you're just not some controlling, verbally abusive man? I don't know that yet. So for you to be handling me a certain way, and I'm trying to, you know, acclimate to that, and you still dealing with me that way, it's very uncomfortable for me. It's like they don't even give you a chance. I have another video where I said it. You're going to meet two types of men. You meet the motherfuckers that speed. They speed. They in the car. They pick you up. They put you in the car, and you rock. You gotta go wherever they want you to go. You gotta do whatever the fuck they want you to do. And then you meet the motherfucker that's moving slow. He don't want commitment. He don't want kids. He don't want marriage. And you kind of like, oh, fucker, come on. And it's just like, I cannot tell y'all how I've literally tried every angle. And I'm almost at the conclusion that if you want to be in a relationship with a man, you have to let these niggas run over you. You have to let them run over you. That I'm almost to that point, because it even when you're doing it in a respectful manner, you can't even express yourself. They can't even handle that shit. They can't even handle that. So let's get to the real reason of this video. Yeah, I've uploaded that video recently, and y'all saw that, you know, I'm upset about a few things or whatever. Y'all saw that previous to that clip that I went out with Fat Daddy. So this person texted me today, not too long ago, and I said, good morning. And he was like, let me ask you a question. I said, yes, and I was like, here we go. He says, who is that dude that you just uploaded a video with? Who is he? And don't lie. You see the approach that this man has? Do you see that? How is somebody going to be receptive to you or be submissive to you if that is how you speak to them? I don't pay it no mind. I said, I will not lie. I said, that's somebody I went to college with that I used to deal with. So he said, well, go deal with him then. Forget about me. Fuck you. Literally said fuck you. Or outright just said fuck you. So I'm going through so much that this is a drop of water in a bigger bucket that it makes no fucking, it doesn't make that much of a difference. I'm making this video because I'm frustrated that you can literally tell a man, listen, my arm is falling off. My house is on fire. My leg is broken. I'm stressed. I'm stressed the fuck out. You could tell him all of that. And the one thing he will fucking do is find out how you can benefit him, even when you're in a fucked up situation. How you not listening to him, or you need to be listening to his demands, or you need to be loyal to him, or you need, and it's just, it's like to the point where I cannot believe that this is, that is the modern man. That is the modern man. It's come to the point where they don't even care about you. You're a fucking vestal for children and cum. You claim that you want to be with me. You claim that you really like me, or whatever the situation is. At what point do you say to yourself, let me slow down a little bit. Let me find out what she really needs, and let me see if I'm capable of doing what she needs me to do. And let me see if she's receptive to what I need her to do. I recorded that video. He asked me who that man was. I told him who it was. He steady saying, fuck you, this is down the third. He said, oh, you got him recording your butt like a thought, like a hole, like a thought. Mind you, he's saying all this, and y'all know me. I said, okay, now you're being disrespectful. I'm sorry if it made you feel the way I said something like that. And I said, you have female friends. Mind you, he told me on Christmas, oh, my coworker, she letting me borrow her car so I can go pick up my daughters, and this, that, and the third. So I said to him, I said, oh, you're real cool with your coworker. So he's like, what you mean by that? You know him. Mind you, earlier in the conversation, the first thing we got on the phone, he asked me what nigga I was on the phone with. So this goes to show you that it's not a two-way street with these motherfuckers. That it's a one-way street. That they could talk to you however, they could say whatever, they could question you about whatever. But when the shoe is on the other foot, they can't. You're not allowed to. Okay? So I said to him, oh, you mighty cool with your car. He's like, what you mean by that? I said, well, it just seems you really cool. Like, old girl letting you borrow her car for the whole day. He's like, I get cool with who I want to get cool with. Do you see that response? You see the response that I get when I ask a question or I try to insinuate something? But when he asks a question, I answer him. No fucking friction. No disrespect. No beating on my chest. No ego. No, none of that. I reassure you, and I answer as honestly as I could possibly answer. So he says, well, we don't know what happened when the camera went off. This is that and the third. My thing is, I'm not your girl. Just like he told me that night when he said that he went out to he went out with what's such and such, and I got options, this is that and the third. And mind you, I'm not being vindictive, but let's keep this into perspective. I'm not your girl. I've been doing YouTubes. I've been recording. I've been telling story times about niggas. So I can understand if me and you made it official. I would have never uploaded that video if this person was my man. I would have never uploaded that video. Fuck that. Not even if he was my man. If this person had taken the time to prove himself. But he hasn't. Continuously, he has said that he's going to do things, and he did not do them. Said he was going to do my nails. He couldn't do my nails. Said he was going to buy a ticket to my show. He never bought a ticket to my show. Christmas, he said he was going to be over there, come over to my house. He didn't. He said he was with his daughters. Okay, but he never called to say, I'm not coming. I'm with my daughters. Whatever. He said he was going to call me back. He never called me back. Mind you, you picking up your kids from your baby mama's house. I could have jumped to conclusions and said this nigga's over there playing, you know, daddy, and sitting up there with his baby mother. I didn't do none of that. Of course that thought crossed my mind, but I didn't approach him the way he's approaching me about this situation. They want your absolute loyalty, but they don't behave in a loyal way. There's plenty of questionable things that this man has done that I did not question him about, did not ask about, because it's not my place. Because at the end of the day, he's not actually my man. So he gets mad that that video goes up. He says, fuck you. He says all that disrespectful shit. You just like these other girls. That was some whole shit. That was some thought shit. I said, okay. I said, I'm sorry if it made you feel away. I also wrote him, it was like a little paragraph. I said, the shit that really got me fucked up, I think that's the real reason why I'm making this video, is you saw how stressed I am. You saw me, you heard me express myself and what's going on in my life. And the first thing you asked me in the morning is about some nigga in the video. You asked me about him and I explained who it was. And you don't even bother to be like, yo, I saw that video. I want to talk to you about old boy in the video, whatever, whatever. But how you feeling? How you doing? I saw that video. I didn't know you was that stressed out, Annie. Is there anything I could do for you? Do you need to talk? That's not what he did. That is not what he did. He mad over a nigga that is not my man or not even going to be my man. This is somebody, this is a male that I know that I used to talk to. Granted, he can feel a way about that. I would absolutely feel a way if he had a video with a woman, blah, blah, blah. But would I cut him off because of it? No, I'm not your woman. Would I ask you about it? Me, I don't know. I probably would wait. I wouldn't do it the way he did it. And I damn sure would not cut you off because of that. I would not. And more importantly, the first thing I would do is ask you, are you okay? See, that's the thing. There's no emotional, you cannot take care of me emotionally. You can't. You packing like a motherfucker. You're very handsome. You're hardworking. You're good with your hands. But when it comes to the matters of the heart, he does not know how to finesse it. He does not know how to finesse it. And I think I was trying to keep talking to him because I saw all these good qualities in him. But the one quality that I'm really looking for in a man is for, you know, an emotional safety net. Somebody I can go to, talk about this, talk about that. No, we on the phone, we talking about his job. I could be like, well, I'm okay, I had a long day or whatever. I could sound down. And he don't even be like, damn, you don't even sound like you're okay. It's just like back to talking about his job. Back to talking about what he had for lunch. Back to the issue with his coworkers or whatever the situation is. I just can't. I can't do it. There's no way I will be able to look at a video of somebody who I claim to care about or I want to be with and nitpick about some random bitch. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. He told me about his coworker. I thought that was a little suspicious. I left it alone. Christmas Day, I thought his behavior was a little suspicious. I left it alone. When he went out of town and he didn't tell me that this is that and the third, I left it alone. There's plenty of things that he has done that I left alone because it is not my position to be worried about who you hanging out with or who such and such because you are not my fucking man. That's not my place. It's not my fucking place. So, comment down below if you think that I was wrong for uploading that video. Or if you think that I was wrong for even hanging out with Fat Daddy. Do you think that I was wrong? Do I have the game mixed up? Do I have the game fucked up? That even when you're not in a relationship with somebody, that you supposed to be mindful of their feelings and you're not supposed to do certain things or post certain things or whatever. I really don't even know how to pose this question. Do you think that should I have even continued to try to make it work with this person if I saw from the first disagreement that this is not somebody who can, I can have a real deep emotional connection with? Do you think that I should have been cut him off, or do you think that I was right in trying to make it work? Or is that what you're supposed to do? Now, I want to say that I still have an interest in this person, but I wish that this person knew how to deal with me when we are having a disagreement or when he has an issue with me or something like that. But he does not know how to deal with me. And I really try to learn how to deal with him. And it just seems as though the only way to deal with him when I have an issue is to not even bring up the issue. Is to just fucking leave it alone. And eventually what would happen is I will be internalizing all of that. And if this is somebody that I will be with in the future, I would probably be miserable because he's not the type of person where you can work it out with. He could work out his issues with you, but you can't work out your issues with him that you have with him. So I know this was all over the place. I didn't really get into the real juice of it or whatever. But let me know how y'all feel. Let me know what y'all thinking. Am I even in a position to be dealing with somebody right now? To be honest, I can answer that question. I'm not. I'm not in a position to be catering to nobody's ego or none of that. I gave this person a chance because this person was persistent. I gave this person a chance because when I did meet them, I saw something in them that said, okay, this is somebody I could deal with. But this seems to be like a person who, at the slightest bit of stress or when the kitchen get too hot, they don't, you know, they leave. They run for the fucking hills. They saying that they're alpha male, but it just seems like they just tuck their dick between their fucking legs and go. Soon as shit get rough, soon as shit get hard, as soon as they don't agree with something you do. And to me, that screams instability. That does not say to me that you're a man that will stick in this relationship or in a relationship and make it work when it's worth working on. So, not to say that this was worth working on. Maybe, you know, he doesn't feel like it is. So, I don't know. I just felt that his age, that he would have a little bit more of an understanding of how women work. And it just seems to me that he doesn't. So, yeah. If y'all have any questions or whatever, put them down below, because I don't really feel like I really got into real depth about it. I tried to, but it's just too much to be, you know, talking about at once. So let me know what y'all think.